Innovation and Organisations. Innovation and Organisations, please welcome Carlota.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. All of us are involved with companies, non-for-profit organizations or for-profit organizations. Do your organizations innovate? Are they active innovating or not? Well, tonight I'm going to address innovation. I'm going to take you through why companies innovate. Is it worth for them innovating? And what are the 4 main steps to foster innovation in companies? But before I go into that, I want to speak to you about the meaning of innovation. Would any of you like to say what innovation is for you? When do you understand by innovation? Yes, Keith?
New and creative.
New and creative.
Yeah, just to make something new.
Something new. Great. Well, I did some searches in different, on the internet and as well as some previous management books, and I found 2 that I quite like. I'm just going to cover these for a minute, and hopefully you can see this. And I went back to one of the heroes of management, Peter Drucker, and he came up with this definition: innovation is change that creates new dimensions of performance, which is a very broad definition of innovation. And then I found out another one done by McEwen. Oh, it's not working properly. A new way, innovation is a new way of doing of something. It may be incremental, radical, and revolutionary changes, and it can be done to thinking, products, processes of organizations. So, with this definition, we can really see that innovation can be applied in different areas in an organization, not only for new products, not only for processes, but also in IT, in R&D, in different areas. And it really adds value to the company. When we think about innovation, we actually want to bring the best out of people. And the benefits for innovation are that we can actually reduce the costs of operation, we can actually reduce the cost of R&D by trying to come up with new ideas on how can we implement those things in place. Innovation also allows us to improve customer service. And as you know, customer service is the blood of a company. If you're selling products, products are something that bring income to the company, but if you provide services and you're able to improve your customer service level, it's a really good thing for the organization. And especially in these times where recession takes place, it's very important for companies to survive. If companies do not innovate, it's going to be really hard for them to be here for the long run. Do you think that companies can take the luxury of stopping innovating in these days with the global financial crisis? Do you think that they can afford not to innovate? But I'm sure that you know some companies are cutting costs on innovation. And that's one of the biggest risks at the moment, because if we don't innovate, if they don't innovate, they're not going to be able to be ready for when the economy goes up again. There was a very interesting case of a gentleman called George Shapiro back in March. He said, those companies that now cut their costs on innovation are going to see it very hard when the good times come back, because they're not going to have the forefront, they're not going to be able to cope with the changes. And if a company decides I'm going to put a bit more money now, it means that they're going to be upfront, they're going to be able to prove some things, and you know, innovation has got 5 different stages. And last time I spoke about product development, but with innovating, even if it's a process or a product, it really allows the company to test some ideas, to show new ways of doing things, and really encourages the company to maintain the interest of their customers and the interest of their employees. Because in these times where it's very difficult to keep going, we need to obtain good employees. And by encouraging and giving them challenges, it really helps them to keep interested in the business. Another very interesting aspect of innovation is that when we determine, okay, what is what we need? What are the main things that we need to look at? Would anyone like to think about what are the things that prompt people to innovate?
A need.
A need, exactly. Customers' needs or consumer needs. If there are changes in technology in the market, we need to keep up to speed with that, otherwise we're not here. My grandfather had a factory in Peru, and he thought that technology changes was not going to mean anything to him. And guess what? He had to shut down his company in 1972 because the machinery that he was using was obsolete. And he thought, oh, who's going to be using those products? Guess what? Marketers came on board and they created a market, and there was a demand for that, so his products became obsolete. So if we're not at the front of technology and changes, we're not here for the long run. And once we determine what is needed, it's very hard to really implement it in a company. And there are four main things that we can do to foster innovations in organizations. The first one is leadership. It depends a lot on the leadership in the company to really allow people to be innovative. If there are mistakes done, show the way how to deal with mistakes, or if there are wins, celebrate the wins and the successes. To be very open and share things around the organization is very important as well. And another element that is really important at the end of the day is to involve all stakeholders in the organization. It's not only marketing's job, it's R&D, IT, logistics, everybody in the company. And it's given that encouragement to keep working. It's also recognizing a job well done. It's acknowledging that the collaboration of everybody is there. Not necessarily by retributing, but acknowledging. And the last thing is also that people need to know when it's time to let go. Sometimes we just need to kill a product. We have to close our eyes and do not put more money in it. So in conclusion, innovation is very important for the survival of companies. Leadership plays a big role, and hopefully we can continue